Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk. Now, I will say this now, this is only going to be a very short video because it's getting quite late now and I've got work tomorrow morning and I've got a 2.5 hour drive before I actually get there, so I need to go to bed early tonight. But I couldn't really leave this thing alone, so while I had a couple of spare hours today, I've been having a bit of a play, and I'll show you how we've got so far. So I'll just give it a quick switch on. Give it a quick turn so you can see the screen. Now, we're not working yet, but I think we do have a bit of progress. If we see here, we now have, well, as you can see there, with nothing on screen, but we actually do have a screen. It is actually outputting video by the look of it. And I said we're not getting anything up on the screen, but then again, I've not got a hard drive connected at the moment. I've not got a floppy drive or anything like that. That is just the logic board, the main board, and the screen connected up. But yeah, we seem to have made some progress, and I'll take it apart again and I'll show you the madness and insanity that I've done to actually get that far. Let's get this shut off again. Unplug the power. I've got to be really careful with this because I don't want to risk ripping any of the parts that I've bodged on off again. But anyway, let's take the board out. It will have to come out in and out a few more times, I think, before we've got what we can see is a success. But right, I'll show you what I've done. Let's put some more light on the oops, yeah, that should be bright enough. I'll move you around a little bit so we can have a proper look here now. Oops. And tighten the stand up on my tripod. That's probably best, isn't it? Right, now let's have a look. Right. Yeah, first thing I've done is I redid them capacitors there and I actually laid them down as best I can. Simply because first time I come to take this board back out again, I managed to snap one of them back off the board. Because they are just tacked onto what's left of some of the pads. It's one there that I'd lost one of the pads on, and it actually come back off again. So instead I've laid them down just to give me a little bit more access when I'm plugging and unplugging from there, and they shouldn't be too bad there. Right, I found quite a few wires and traces which had gone. The most fun ones being, let me find my pointing device. Remember how I pointed the 3 out there? Well, I've managed to repair them. They go to these 300, I think they're about 102k resistors there, and then they then go to the one of the internal planes on this board. Like I was saying in the previous video, this isn't a dual layer board. I don't know how many layer it is, but it's a multi-layer board. There's actually layers inside. So you've got a top foil, a bottom foil, and God knows how many internal foils. I'm thinking probably only one, to be honest. Because I mean, this is what, 1990, 1991. The technology hasn't quite got there for like the 8-layer boards that they have nowadays. It's probably 3. Could be 4, probably 3. But anyway, the other side of them resistors go to that internal layer. So what I ended up doing, obviously, I have watched videos, like we were saying in the past, from Pace, where they'd take a ball mill and they'd grind away here at the board until they got down to that foil, and then they'd connect wires to, they'd connect a repair to it, and then rebuild all this up with epoxy, and it'd be a fantastic job, and it'd probably cost thousands of pounds. What I've done is I took a PCB drill and I drilled out the 6 wires there. I cleaned off a little bit of the track and got some legs off. What I do whenever I use components like capacitors or resistors, you always end up with a little length of leg left over, and I have a little pot by my workbench, and I drop all them little bits of leg in because they're really handy for doing repairs like this. I soldered them onto what was left of the track on that side, go through where the via used to be, and they're bent round, and they're soldered right to that side of that surface mount resistor. Now, the soldering is not good, but it's the best I could do, being that there was so much of that corrosion around here. So yeah, I sort of then on the other side, I also drilled through the holes. I tinned up the wires, and I then soldered them in place, and I did hold the iron on there for as long as I could. I dripped a little bit of flux on the wires. That's why this liquid flux is actually really good for stuff like this. I just dipped a little bit on the end of the wires before I pushed them through, with a little bit of solder already on them. So when I heated them up, hopefully the idea is that they would tin to that internal plane in there, that internal foil. And it looks like I said, we've not got it working completely yet, but I think we may have got a contact there. We don't know, but I think we may have got a contact. This one here again, the via was there. The via had completely rotted out. It had removed some of the track on this side. It had also done the same on this side here. So again, I drilled out the via with a tiny little PCB drill. I bent a piece of wire, and I managed to get it to connect to that wire, to the trace there. Bent it over, and then found somewhere I could connect it to the trace again over there. Now, there is possibly, most likely, more traces that have gone like that. So my next job really is just to start going through this thing and checking every one of these vias, making sure that it's actually got continuity. It's most likely this part of the board here, I think, which is the most severely damaged. So I'm hoping by working around on this part of the board here, we may actually get this thing to at least semi-function, if not completely function. Like I said, it's this really is a bit of an experiment. I've never tried to repair a multi-layer board before, only ever two-layer, top and bottom layer. So well, it's a bit of fun anyway. So I won't probably put an update on this for possibly a couple of days now, because I've got some work coming up and I'm going to be away from home for a few days. So I thought I'd just give you a quick update before I go to bed. So I hope you enjoyed that, and thanks for watching, and goodbye.